Everyone's so interested in the top prospects of the draft, like Adley Rutschman, Jackson Holliday, even Chipper Jones and Barry Bonds. And although first-rounders are seen as the future superstars of the game, not every superstar is picked in the first round. So here are the top players picked in the later rounds, starting with number 8, James Shields. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays did an excellent job in selecting their first pick in the 2000 draft. But the actual diamond of that year's draft was in the 16th round and with the 466th pick. James Shields. It took Shields a solid 6 years to make it to the big leagues, and surprisingly, he never made it to the top 10 prospects list for Tampa Bay. However, as a rookie in 2006, he left a good impression and quickly established himself as one of the most consistent starting pitchers in baseball. From 2007 to 2015, Shields maintained a .367 ERA and averaged an impressive 221 innings per season. In 2011, he peaked as an all-star and a strong contender for the Cy Young Award. He also had the opportunity to pitch in the World Series, first with the Rays in 2008, and then with the Kansas City Royals in 2014. He made a lot of money for the team when he was traded to the Kansas City Royals. Without him, the Rays would have never gotten their starting right fielder Steven Souza Jr. and other noteworthy players. His standout achievement was recording 24 complete games, with 11 of them accomplished during his exceptional 2011 season. He consistently delivered excellent performances, rarely showing signs of fatigue or injury, and started in over 30 games in nearly every season of his career. And now on to number 7, Josh Hader. The best reliever in baseball was an afterthought. We're sure a lot of people didn't know that. The Baltimore Orioles drafted him out of high school with the 582nd pick in the 2012 draft. Yes, Hader was selected in the 19th round. 581 players had already been picked before he was. When he was finally selected, his fastball topped out at only 87 miles per hour. After that, though, the left-handed pitcher's skills gradually improved as he moved from the Orioles team to the Astros in 2013 and then to the Brewers in 2015. The Brewers debuted Hader in 2017. His success can be attributed to his exceptional fastball, which is arguably the best in the game. In 2021, he became the fastest pitcher ever to reach 400 strikeouts in the majors. Hader secured a deal with the Padres on January 13, 2023, signing a contract worth $14.1 million for 1 year to bypass salary arbitration. He had an impressive start to the season and was named the NL Reliever of the Month for April. During that month, he accumulated 10 saves, limited opposing hitters to a mere .093 batting average, and gave up just 1 run in 13 innings pitched. Now on to number 6, Jarrod Dyson. Some folks believe picks as low as Dyson don't amount to much. He was selected in round 50 as the 1,475th pick of the 2006 draft. That's pretty low, but Dyson climbed to the top pretty quickly. 4 years later, he made his major league debut. His speed and defensive chops were quite important elements of the Royals' World Series runs in 2014 and 2015. After helping his team achieve these feats, he was traded to the Mariners in 2016. Since then, he's played for a couple of other teams. It's pretty amazing that Dyson has managed to have a successful 9-year career in the big leagues, especially considering he was chosen in a round that no longer exists. Even though he mostly played as a bench player or in platoon roles throughout his time in the majors, he has managed to steal an impressive 213 bases while only being caught 39 times. He consistently swiped at least 20 bags each season from 2012 to 2017. There's even a street that's named after him in his hometown of Macomb, Mississippi. It was renamed Dyson Drive to honor the late-round superstar in January 2016. Number 5, Mark Buehrle. Buehrle wasn't exactly an exceptional baseball player in his days at Jefferson College, but the White Sox saw something in him and selected him as the 1,139th pick in the 38th round. Buehrle proved himself worthy pretty fast. 2 years after he was drafted, he had reached the majors and had become a great defender. Throughout his career, Buehrle achieved incredible feats. He won more than 200 games in the major leagues, including pitching a perfect game and a no-hitter. He also earned a spot on 5 All-Star teams and secured 4 Gold Glove awards for his exceptional fielding skills. On top of all that, he's known as one of the most resilient pitchers in the history of the major leagues, able to consistently endure and perform at a high level. Buehrle made history on July 23, 2009 when he threw a perfect game against the Tampa Bay Rays at US Cellular Field in front of 28,000 fans, becoming the 18th perfect game and 263rd no-hitter in MLB history, as well as the second perfect game and 17th no-hitter in White Sox history. While Mark Buehrle will probably never get inducted into the Hall of Fame, he's one of the 2 best players to be drafted 800th or later. Now on to number 4, John Smoltz. There are a lot of teams that wish they'd given John Smoltz a chance years ago, but it's impossible to have known he'd turn into the incredible force that he became. The 1985 draft was one of the deepest in history. Smoltz had many players chosen before him. Will Clark and Barry Bonds were among the first 10 players chosen. Many more players were selected in the second round and the rounds that followed. It wasn't until the 22nd round that Smoltz was picked by the Tigers as the 574th overall pick. John Smoltz was a phenomenon. Before the end of his MLB debut, he'd already accomplished more than the combined careers of all the other players selected in the same round as him. Smoltz becoming a Hall of Famer and the only pitcher in MLB history with 200 wins and 150 saves was simply the cherry on top. In 1996, he earned the NL Cy Young Award by winning 24 games, which tied the record for the most runs by an NL pitcher since 1972. In January 2015, he was elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame with 82.88% of the vote. If this isn't a perfect example of the epic value found in late draft picks, we don't know what is. And now, on to number 3, Mike Piazza. If his godfather hadn't been the manager of the Dodgers, there's a high probability that the greatest hitting catcher in Major League history would have gone undrafted and may have never had the chance to play in a major league. Luckily, Piazza was one of the 7 players chosen during the 62nd round in 1988. This may sound ridiculous, but he was the 1,390th overall selection. It's safe to say that this is the greatest draft pick in history. In Piazza's autobiography, titled Long Shot, Tommy Lasorda, his godfather, notes, "I sent 5 of my friends from 5 different organizations out to see Michael play, and nobody wanted to sign him. I ordered the Dodgers to draft him. I said, I don't give a where you draft him, but draft him. They weren't doing me a favor. I was doing them a favor." And indeed he was. Piazza became the lowest MLB draft pick in history to make it to Cooperstown. He won the NL Rookie of the Year award in 1993 with 427 career home runs. He holds the MLB record for the most home runs by a catcher, making him one of the greatest hitting catchers ever. In 2016, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And now on to number 2, Albert Pujols. Back in the 1999 draft, Pujols, commonly known as the Machine, didn't even make it into the top 400 picks. Can you believe it? To be exact, there were 401 players chosen ahead of him that year. Every single baseball team had multiple chances to select him, but it wasn't until the Cardinals picked him up as the 402nd player in the 13th round that he finally got chosen. It's pretty hard to understand now, but the scouts weren't completely convinced about him. They had concerns about his age and described him as having a not-so-great physique and a swing that took too long. But that very same swing helped him become one of the top baseball players in history. There are 29 teams today that still regret passing on the Machine. In 2016, Pujols confessed that his late-round pick was something he didn't understand and thought about throughout his career. Who wouldn't? Jeff Scott, the scouting director of the Cardinals, had this to say about Pujols. "He's one of those guys people stop to watch when he comes up to the plate. That guy selling beer, he's not pouring when Albert comes up. He's watching too." In August 2022, the Machine became the first player to produce 4 hits and 2 homers in a single game at the age of 42 or older. Good thing St. Louis Cardinals decided to give him a shot that day in 1999. And finally, number 1, Nolan Ryan. If you find yourself on the north side of the Rangers Plaza in Texas, it's unlikely that you'll miss the life-size bronze sculpture of the Hall of Fame pitcher, Nolan Ryan. But let's backtrack a little. In his junior year at Alvin High School, Ryan was already a standout pitcher on the baseball team. He was so good that he began to attract major league attention, but things didn't go as planned. In his last year in high school, the Mets checked out one of his stats towards the end of the session. The day before, Ryan and his teammates were made to do a ton of wind sprints as punishment for not paying attention. He was super tired when he got on the pitcher's mound, and he didn't perform as well as he usually did. Because of this, Ryan wasn't drafted until the 12th round of the 1965 Major League Baseball draft, when he was selected by the Mets. Surprisingly, the 295th pick of the league got a chance to play in the Major League the very next season, and eventually became a Hall of Famer. He went on to hold a total of 51 MLB records, including 5,714 career strikeouts and 7 career no-hitters. He played in 27 seasons. That's more seasons than any other player in modern Major League Baseball history. It's no wonder the inscription on his statue reads, "When Nolan Ryan came here, he was a superstar. When he left, he was a legend." And that's just about it. But I gotta ask you a question. Who did I miss that I should have added to the list, and who shouldn't have been on this list? Let me know in the comments down below. And since you're still here, check out the next video on the screen about Cory Lewis, the Twins' knuckleball pitching prospect.